Hey there, it's Kate back, and as promised, I am going to continue with the series on becoming more aware. There are lots of ways that we can become more aware. And on my journey, through my journey of becoming an author, a singer songwriter, a speaker, and a coach, I have had to become very aware of a lot of things and a lot of habits that I have because of the simple reason. Otherwise, I would not be growing, I would not be learning. And becoming self aware helps us to grow. If we don't grow, we become stagnant. And when we become stagnant, our mind stays stagnant, all our thoughts never change, our habits never change, so we don't grow. Today, one of the ways I know to become self aware or more self aware is to journal. Now, I know some of you are going to say, I hate writing. I don't like writing. I don't want to journal. I don't want to do that. As a writer, I can tell you I do enough writing that do I want to sit down and necessarily journal in the morning? No, I don't. But when I keep myself consistent about just taking the time to sit down and put my thoughts down for the day or do a Bible study, but to get my thoughts out on paper, to meditate, pray, do some scripture, plan my day, take a moment, my day goes so much better. Recently, or not so recently, a few months ago, which is recent in my life, months seem to fly by in my life, but just recently, a few months ago, my husband bought me this thing called a rocket book, which is, I highly recommend, by the way, I love it. You can actually write things in there. Then you can actually, I save mine to Evernote. You can save your journal notes for the day, and then you can erase it all. So you're not having to continually go and buy miles and miles of journals. So I can keep my journaling every day. I write it in my Rocketbook and then I save it to my Evernote. And so it's in there. And it was so funny. The other day, I was just cleaning up my computer and I went back to have a look at something that I'd written in my Rocketbook. Oh, probably early on in the year. And it was amazing to go back and look at what I was thinking then. What was my mind doing? What were my plans then? How did those plans work out? And did I actually carry those plans out? Did they come to fruition? Or did I change them? Did they end up being exactly the same? And what about the thoughts and the plans that I had? Where were they now? So going back on something that you have journaled is very, very informative for you. It also starts to make you aware of the fact of, are you consistent? Are you not consistent? Have you changed any of the habits that you've been wanting to change for a long time? Or are they still there? Are you still writing down the same old wish list? Or have you ticked some of those things off your wish list? When we journal, it is just a way to express ourselves and to actually really reflect on what we're truly feeling. I used to do this thing called morning pages, and I still do a little. I don't do 3 pages a day. I really don't, and which is recommended. And if you can do 3 pages a day, I absolutely applaud you. But I try to write a little every morning or ponder a little. And if I wake up and something goes wrong, it is great to go and sit down and write all that out and get that energy out on paper and resolve it on paper before it consumes your whole day. It's really easy for something to go wrong in the beginning of your day, and then it changes the whole trajectory of your day, and your day ends up going, down the rabbit hole, as I like to say, instead of your climbing those mountains and crossing those bridges and making movement in your life. So journaling is a way that I truly would recommend that you try, even if it's just a few words on the paper. And if you don't know what to say, you write, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. That is also, if you are a writer and you sometimes experience what they call writer's block, one way to get rid of that is set a timer for 10 minutes and sit there and write. And it doesn't matter what you write. You will eventually write something. Even if you start off going, I don't know what to write. This is a waste of time. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, the dog is over there. And your thoughts might be disjointed in the beginning when you start to write. But after a while, when this becomes a habit of just writing, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, when you start to do this for 10 minutes a day, life starts to change and become smoother because you're getting more in touch with what you're actually thinking. You're getting also in touch with your senses as well. So what you're smelling, you might be sitting writing in that 10 minutes and suddenly you smell coffee brewing. And it may be that you set the coffee maker for the night before, or somebody, if you're in my house, somebody's come up and started to make a coffee. It may be that it started to rain and suddenly you smell the earth. It may be that the birds start singing and now you are hearing those morning sounds of the birds. There may be a storm outside and suddenly you're hearing the rumble of thunder and seeing the flash of lightning. It gets you more in touch with your senses, which means you're going to become more self-aware of all the thoughts and the habits that you are participating in either willingly or unwillingly every day. When we participate in habits unwillingly, it means that we have let our mind rule over what we truly desire. When we journal and write out these things, we reiterate to ourselves what it is that we truly want, not what our mind is used to doing and wants to continue to do unless we call a halt. So that's it for today. And I want you to think about journaling. Have you ever journaled? Buy yourself a rocket book. They're not very expensive and they're way fun. It's a fun way of writing if you like to do it that way. And they come in lots of colors and lots of sizes. I have one about this big, I guess, but you can get them in little itty bitty ones and you can get big full size ones. Go and get yourself a rocket book. Play with your rocket book, save it somewhere. And then in 6 months' time, come back and see what you wrote 6 months ago and see how much your life has changed, or if it still needs to change and you need to become more self-aware of what thoughts you're having on a daily basis. Okay, I will see you in here tomorrow with another tip on how to become more self-aware.